In one of my previous videos, I talked about the dark side of my spiritual awakening. But that's only half of the story, because after I made it through, things started happening to me that never happened before in my life. My relationships changed, my habits changed, and even the way I saw myself changed. So what I'm gonna do in this video is tell you the 3 things that surprised me the most after I came over to the other side. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing I noticed is I stopped wanting to win, meaning that I stopped wanting to win all the arguments. The reason why I had a lot of arguments and debates is because I'm the only one in my family and my circle of friends that believe what I believe. You know, like spiritual awakenings. That we all live in the matrix and we're living on a low vibration, and that this planet is ascending to a high vibration, and the planet is ascending to the 5th dimension. Law of attraction and manifestation. All these things that I believe, my family and friends do not believe it. They believe the Christian ways. I'm not saying that being a Christian is bad. I'm just saying they kind of believe what majority of people believe, or what majority of people follow as far as religion and just traditional living. So I would get in a lot of debates and arguments with some people in my family, especially with my brother. He's older. He's a former preacher. He's really, really deeply connected with his faith. And we would have debates about who was right all the time. I wanted to be right and he wanted to be right. So this one time we had a discussion about this subject. It's very popular. You probably had a discussion about it too. Is the world round or is it flat? Of course, he said the world is round. It's kind of like I'm on a fence right now, because after my spiritual awakening, that's when I started really thinking about things. And so we had this debate about is the world round or flat. He started stating his points and everything. And I was thinking in my head, in my mind, what I'm going to say. And before I can even say anything, I thought about, should I have another argument or debate with him again? Or should I just stop it right here? And what I did, I just said, I'm stopping it. Because I realized that there's no point of trying to convince him. Because right now, the most important thing in my life is peace and keeping an open mind. And so I told him that. I said, okay, yeah, you're right. I understand your point. And he was shocked. He was kind of confused, like, what? You usually debate with me. What's going on? I told him, I just feel different now. I see things differently now. And right now it's all about protecting my energy and keeping an open mind. Now, the next thing that surprised me is my priorities completely changed. I was focused on correcting my sleep, because for years I was sleep deprived. I would average 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep every night for years. I'm talking about maybe 10, 15, 20 years. Because when I started working, at a job at a young age, I was working like 2, 3 jobs sometime because, wanted to get that money. And so half the time I wouldn't get no sleep. And then at the same time, I was working on a business because I always wanted to start a business. So I would start up side businesses and work on that all night. So I'll say for 20 some odd years, I'm doing all these things and I'm not getting no sleep at all. But when I had my spiritual awakening, I kind of went through the emotions and I felt a change. And after I came over to the other side and was awakened, I just had this urge to focus on my sleep. I wanted to get 8 hours of sleep. I started not watching YouTube videos all the time, the prank videos, just the entertainment. And, entertainment on television, I completely cut out television. But then I started completely limiting social media. Only watch it for business or to make videos, to get ideas for videos. But I started focusing on my sleep, started getting 8 hours of sleep. I felt a difference in my mood and I started reading more because I never really liked to read. I'll probably listen to podcasts or listen to an audio book, but I wasn't big on just being quiet in a quiet room and just reading, just focusing on what I'm reading. I never really did that, and I started doing that. So it was just shocking. And after I started getting 8 hours of sleep every night, I felt like a whole different person, a completely different person. And something else started happening. I started noticing these lines on my hands start forming certain symbols. And it seems like what happened after I started waking up, I started noticing things. I started noticing things I never noticed before, especially on my hand. When I started learning about these symbols on my hand, that prompted me to create an ebook. So that's why I created this ebook called The Marked Ones. And I also created a lot of other ebooks on other different subjects. You can check them out right below this video. And also, I started focusing on my health more. I started searching for the right things that will support my body. So that's why I take Vibe High supplements. It started helping me with my mental clarity, and it keeps my body on a high vibration. If you want to check those supplements out, they're right below this video also. Now, the third thing I noticed and really shocked me was I still got some learning to do. It wasn't like, that's it. I have arrived. No. And what happened was I met somebody that really opened my eyes about relationships, because I'm single and I've been single for years, and I've been to therapy. I've been to counseling so many times I can't even count to try to figure out what's wrong. But after this spiritual awakening, and after the confusion and sadness and me becoming angry during my spiritual awakening, I met somebody that really opened my eyes as far as how to handle relationships with people and with your significant other, or somebody you're attracted to. So this person I met, I kind of became obsessed with her, and I think she was kind of obsessed with me too. The first day we met, it was just like something I never felt before. And we immediately started talking and texting every day. And it was something inside of me said, or had me wondering, is this the one? Is she my soulmate? Because this is the first time I ever thought about somebody over and over again. And we had to talk to each other every day. Matter of fact, this person worked with me. We had to talk to each other every day. And if I didn't talk to that person, I would feel some type of way. But as time went on, we kind of grew apart. And as we grew apart, I started understanding that this person just came in my life to let me know that I have some work to do as far as relationship. And, it didn't work out or anything. That person was with somebody anyway. So it wasn't supposed to work out anyway. But she opened my eyes to what I need to do as far as learning more about relationships and intimacy. And far as understanding my feelings that I have for a woman. So the spiritual awakening that I survived really woke me up. I mean, I feel like a brand new person. I feel like I can see everything in my life now clearly, because it was cloudy at first. I didn't know why I was doing things that I used to do on a regular basis that wasn't getting me to the next level in my life. But once I survived the dark side of everything, I can see the light. I can see that I need to focus on myself more and not worry about other people. And I think that's what the person that I met, the woman that I met, showed me, that I need to focus on myself more. And I need to love myself more, because she was just like me. She liked to debate. She liked to joke and laugh. She liked sports. It was like I said, it was like a match made in heaven. But we would bump heads, we would argue, we would fight, but at the same time we would come back. So it was like a tug of war. And she left the job, so I'm glad that happened, because I was kind of in the midst of all that commotion and chaos. But since I've had a spiritual awakening, I was able to see what was going on. And it just so happened that she left and went to another job. And after that happened, I was able to understand why I went through that. But I'm nowhere near healed. You know what I'm saying? Completely healed. I'm just more focused and have more clarity of what's going on and why I'm here and what's my purpose. And I believe I'm doing my purpose now by sharing all this information with you guys in these videos. So tell me, guys, what have you noticed after your spiritual awakening? What has changed in your life? Let me know down in the comments below. If you want to talk more about this with me, I go live on Twitch every Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So follow me at twitch.tv/wokereg or follow me on kick.com/wokereg. And sub up, I appreciate it. I'll see you there. Before you go, YouTube says this is the best video that you need to check out next. Peace, get woke, and keep rising.